Anybody can make a tier list. Today, we're going to be making 3 tier lists backed by data. EVO is just 2 weeks away, and with Street Fighter 6 having been out for a little while now, we've had a chance to watch a lot of high-level play. There have already been dozens of online tournaments, at least 2 large open offline events, so I think it's a good time to check in on which characters are winning tournaments, and by the end, we're going to have 3 different tier lists: popularity, consistency, and chance to win it all. Before we get into that though, this video took a decent amount of time and research to make. I make short form edited content multiple times a week, so if you want to see more videos on fighting game content, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video. Now let's get into some data. To set some parameters here, I'm only going to be looking at the largest NA tournaments that have been going on. That includes 7 weeks of can openers, 6 weeks of Tampa Never Sleeps, as well as Intercontinental Fight Club, and CEO and Defend the North, the 2 largest open bracket offline North American tournaments so far. I'm also going to be only counting the main character that a player used in top 8 appearances, so for players like No Need to Talk, who played both Honda and Lily, he's just going to count as a point. The only exception to this is Mena RD, who uses both Luke and Blanka at almost equal amounts, so he actually gets his own separate column that I called Blanka. This seemed like the most reasonable way to do it, but if you have anything else you think I should be including, let me know down in the comments and maybe I'll make an update video. Let's start with the popularity tier list. Character popularity is going to be determined purely by the number of unique players picking a character, and for this one, I'm actually going to go backwards. Reminder that your character is only counted if you make top 8 in an event, and actually every character has been represented at least once, which is pretty cool to see. There are 3 characters that have made it to top 8 only a single time by a single player, and they're going into our bottom tier. Those characters are Ryu, who is played by Taiga at Defend the North, Zangief, who is played by Zangief Bellado in week 2 of ICFC, and Lily, who is played by Combo Fiend. Okay, slight edit here. When I originally wrote this script, I actually thought No Need to Talk played Honda and not Lily, so technically there's 2 Lily players, so yeah, moving on. After that, in our C tier, we have Cammy, Sim, Blanka, Jamie, and Marisa, who have all been played by 2 different people. Manon, Chun, DJ, Guile, Kimberly, and Honda are in the 4 to 5 people tier. In the A tier of popularity, we have Luke, JP, and Ken, all with 7 unique players. And in the God tier of popularity, we have Jury, who stands alone with 10 different players who have represented her in a top 8. CEO by itself had 3 unique jury players, so this shouldn't be too much of a surprise. But popularity doesn't necessarily lead to wins, so let's take a look at characters that are consistently placing well and making top 8. Character consistency is going to be determined by the number of times a character is represented in a top 8 by any player, and we'll be starting by looking at the popularity chart. The bottom is unchanged. Every character with only 1 player has only placed 1 time in a single top 8. In the C tier, the only real difference here is that Cammy is way gone. Punk, making top 8 in almost every tournament he plays in, single-handedly carries the character all the way to A tier with 15 separate top 8 placements. Punk by himself is responsible for 14 of those, and the only other top 8 placement for a Cammy player was Squall in week 4 of ICFC. And yes, to clarify, I know NuckleDu plays Cammy into the Guile matchup, but again, because he plays Guile against everything else, I'm erasing his Cammy wins from existence. B tier is the same as well, except obviously Guile gets flash kicked up to A tier. There aren't as many unique Guile players as characters like Jury, Ken, and Luke, but players like NuckleDu, Kaba, and Brian D are dominating on the character and accounting for 24 different top 8 placements across 7 weeks. A tier is untouched. Ken, JP, and Luke all have great results between them, with between 13 and 19 top 8 placements. And a top S tier with 27 different top 8 placements is still Jury. The character is not only popular, but she is also placing well with the people who play her. So should you just pick Jury? Well, if you want to make top 8, maybe. But if you want to win it all, there's actually one character that consistently outperforms her and everyone in the cast by a large margin. If we assign points based on top 8 placements from 1 to 8, there's one character that is 50 points ahead of the next closest character. In the chance to win it all tier, across 7 weeks of competition, there are 3 characters with at least 80 points. Jury is actually 3rd with 87 points. In the 2nd place, and in a heroic single-man effort, Cammy is at 88 points. To put this into perspective, there are 10 different Jury players who have placed with Jury 27 times for a combined 87 points. Punk, by himself, has made and won top 8 in so many tournaments that he accounts for 87 points on Cammy, with the 1 additional point going to Squall, who got 7th. That is insane consistency for a single player. But in 1st place, the #1 performing character after 7 weeks with a dominant 139 points is the Sonic Soldier himself, Guile. Guile has already won 4 online and 1 offline tournament, and in terms of representation, he is far and away the best chance of getting top 3. It's important to note too that character strength is relative to the players who play them, and players like Mena, Kaba, NuckleDu, Punk, and the Legion of Jury players are pushing these characters to their absolute limit and finding success in the process. While I do think that this tier list is pretty representative of character strength, and it actually really closely matches with Diaphone's aggregated tier list, all it really takes is one strong player to have a good day to win it all on any character. Street Fighter 6 already has a great representation of top players on unique characters, and while I do think characters like Ryu, Zangief, and Lily are going to need some help before they're widely played, it is awesome as a spectator to see so many different characters played at the highest level. This video is already almost 6 minutes long, which if you watch any of my content, you'll probably know is an eternity for me. So if you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe. If you made it to the end, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.